This podcast is sponsored by Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it is the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. Free free. There's also creation tools that allows you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will then distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more platforms. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. I actually use Anchor for this podcast, and it has saved me a lot of time and energy because everything is consolidated in one place. It just makes it so much easier. So if you're interested in doing the same thing, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Once again, you can download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Hey y'all, my name is Christian. I'm a millennial, and this is the Millennial Mind. Millennials get a bad rap for being lazy, non-productive members of society. They are also told that their opinions are warped and that they don't matter. This podcast is designed to express an opinion, but from a millennial's perspective. We will talk about everything from love and relationships to pop culture to pretty much everything that comes to mind. Come join me on this journey of speaking my mind, and I hope that all of you are speaking your mind as well. Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of The Millennial Mind. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey of speaking my mind, and I hope that all of you are speaking your minds as well. We are at the end of January of 2021, and it's been interesting. Some of the foolishness from 2020 has started to creep into 2021, as you can tell, but we are surviving. Hopefully, the remaining 11 months will be a lot better, or I will take halfway decent at this point. That's what I will take. Anyway, let's get into this episode. So this episode, I probably should have done it last week, but I was so excited about our new president and that Donald Trump was out of office that I did an episode on that instead of the one that I'm doing today. But it seemed like you guys really enjoyed the We Are Not Really Strangers game. So I'm going to do part 2 of that today. So if you haven't had a chance to listen to part 1, make sure you listen to part 1. Or really, you can listen to part 2 first, then part 1. They don't go in succession or anything. Basically, We Are Not Really Strangers is a game where you ask or get asked thought-provoking, deep questions, and you answer these questions pretty much on the fly. You haven't seen the questions, you don't know what the questions are about, so it makes your answers that more authentic because they're not really thought out and they should come from the heart. I have not seen these questions, so I don't know what's going to be asked. So this is going to be interesting. You are going to get pure, authentic answers with the ums, the ahs, and the I don't knows, and the you know what I'm saying. Okay? So while I'm asking these questions, ask these same questions to yourself too. Let me know what your answers are at mindofmillennials@gmail.com. But without further ado, let's get into We Are Not Really Strangers, part 2. Okay, first question. What is the best lesson an ex has ever taught you? Whoo, What is the best lesson that an ex has ever taught me? To be confident in myself. Good gracious. Um, the individuals that I have been with in the past just showed me how insecure I really was. Cause I let my standards down like really low, like to hell low. Like my standards went straight to hell. Um, you could tell that I didn't really love myself, that I didn't really care about myself, that I would choose a man that wouldn't like cheat on me or like say mean things about me or just do whatever he wanted to do to me. Like I had no confidence at all. I learned over the years with being single, that's what singlehood will show you and teach you. It will teach you about yourself and how to love yourself. Where I was at that point, I was at that point when I finally met my husband. But yeah, learning to love yourself is hard. And I think how much you love yourself exudes itself through the men or the women that you choose to be with. Like your mate or your partner, whether it's through marriage or dating, that equals like your confidence level. I'm convinced because if your security in yourself, if your self-esteem is low, the guys that you pick are going to reflect that. I'm just saying. So the lesson that an ex has taught me, girl, have confidence in yourself. It's okay to have standards. You're not um you're not too needy if you have standards. If you don't want your man to hit you, don't get a man that hits you. I mean, I think that's an appropriate standard. Let me use another example. If you want a man that has a job, of course, with certain I know that there's certain exceptions, but for the most part, if you want a man that has a job, get you a man that has a job. Maintain your standards, and that right guy is going to come along. Okay. Next question. What do you need right now more than anything? What do I need right now more than anything? A vacation. A nice vacation, a nice week-long vacation, okay? When I was a child, my dad always instilled in me to at least go on a vacation once a year, at least once a year, so that you can get out of your comfort zone, get out of your surroundings, explore the world, meet new people, just have fun. And that's something that I've implemented into my adult life where I at least have to have a vacation once a year. I have been blessed over the years to go more than once a year on vacation. With COVID, it's kind of, well, you know what? With COVID, I think I went out of town 3 times. Do not judge me. Do not. The first time it was with my husband, and that was really before COVID really started getting out of control, or really before the shutdown. When we went the first time, it was like for a few days, we went to Lake Geneva. Like we could see like the Lysol and the Lysol wipes and the hand sanitizer was starting to disappear, but this was still before the time where they actually shut down everything. The second time I went out of town was to Tampa because my brother got married. I can't miss my brother's wedding, contrary to popular belief. Or maybe I could have, but I would not have heard the end of it. So I decided not to miss it. And then the third vacation I went on was to see my best friend in Iowa. But I've been really cautious as I travel. I haven't traveled since, I believe it was October. of last year, which that's not really long. That's like it's been like 3 months, but I am in need of a okay, tongue twister, of a vacation. Do not judge me. I will be taking one in the next few months with my husband, so I'm super excited about that. But yes, what am I in need of? A vacation. You know what? I could give a part two of that too. What am I in need of more than anything? $500 billion. How about that? 500 billion, not million, billion. Okay, I'm so dramatic. But money, hello, like to pay off my student loans, to do other stuff with it, just money. I don't want to have to go to the store and kind of monitor how much I can spend. I want to have like a day where I can spend like unlimited funds. Like, is that possible? Like, is that what Beyonce and Jay-Z be doing? Is that what Warren Buffett be doing? Warren Buffett probably don't be doing that. I know he be investing his money. And of course I would invest some of my money too. But for the most part, I want to spend some of it. Is that a crime? I don't think so. Okay, moving on. Next question. When was the last time I felt lucky to be me? So for you guys, when was the last time you felt lucky to be you? The last time I felt lucky to be me, and I won't say lucky, I will say blessed, was when I married my husband. And that was almost 4 years ago. I felt, I had this feeling of euphoria, like I was on a cloud, like I was in a dream, really. It was just a beautiful day, even though it was rainy and kind of cold. You could not tell me it wasn't sunny outside, because to be with the one that I loved and still love, and to be with the one that I have been with for so long, and to finally like culminate that into a marriage, into a covenant of oneness, I just felt really blessed to be in that position. I know a lot of people have never been married, um, and may not desire to be married. But for me, that was the time where I felt really blessed to be me. Just in that moment, I kind of make sure that I was aware of everything that was going on, not just aware of my husband, but aware of all of the people that were there to support us for that special day. It was just overwhelming, the love that I was receiving. And I know I'll probably never get that again until, I hate to say it, but my funeral. But to be in the room of people that loves you and supports you and supports your relationship is just overwhelming. And I know that that can be experienced in different ways and in different events for your life. But for me, that particular event made me feel overwhelmingly loved. And I felt really blessed to be me on that day. April 14th, 2017. Never forget. Okay, you guys. Well, what we are going to do, we are going to take a break at this point to hear a word from our sponsors, and we will be right back. Okay, so I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about Goli gummies. Now, we all know that apple cider vinegar is the new health kick right now, okay? So you're supposed to take a shot or two in the morning. Some people take it 3 times a day, and you're supposed to get a lot of health benefits, such as losing weight, appetite control, etc. If you guys have ever taken apple cider vinegar shots, it is a very strong taste, okay? It's a very strong taste. It burns your throat when it goes down, just the whole nine. I used to take apple cider vinegar shots as well, and I just got sick of the taste. So I tried to find an alternative to it where I wouldn't lose the benefits, but the taste would be a little bit better. That's when I found out about Goli gummies. Now, Goli gummies, they are little gummies that has apple cider vinegar in it, and you get all of the same benefits of an apple cider vinegar shot. So the appetite control, the weight loss, etc. It's really tasty, so you don't have that burning sensation that's going down your throat every time you consume it. It's amazing. It comes in nice little packaging. They also have, you can also get an individual bottle if you want to try it, or you could do the 1 month supply, 3 month supply, or even a 5 month supply of these gummies. I take them every day and I love them. I try not to eat them as candy because they're just that good. If you want to take advantage of these gummies, I do have a special promo code for my listeners. You can go to go.goli.com/cfuller to get an additional 5% off your purchase. And there is nothing wrong with additional savings. I will take whatever I can get. So if you want to take advantage of these gummies, go to go.goli.com/cfuller to get additional savings. Okay, y'all, we are back. Let's go on with these questions. Okay, so the next question is, what is your favorite memory from your childhood? What is my favorite memory from my childhood? That is a good question. So, a couple of memories come to mind. The first one is when me and my brother were younger. We lived in the south suburbs of Chicago. And we had this house where, of course, we had a fence in the backyard. So what we would do is we would climb this tall fence. I think the fence was maybe like 6 feet. We would climb the fence, jump over, and just run into our neighbor's backyard. What was crazy is that the neighbor never said anything about us doing that, about us running in their backyard. And it seemed like my parents didn't have a problem with it, or maybe they just did not notice. I don't know. But this was during the time where we didn't have like cell phones and iPads and computers to like occupy our time. Like my parents would put us outside and be like, "Hey, burn your energy this way." So we would just go outside and find creative stuff to do. So we would climb the fence and jump into our neighbor's backyard. My brother was the first one to do it. He was always the initiator. He was always the brave one. I would always try to gain the strength, but he kept on encouraging me and was like, "Christian, hey, you can do it. Just do it this way." And one day I did it, and I was doing it ever since until we moved. So that was my first favorite memory from my childhood. A second favorite memory from my childhood, I think I was about 11, and we went on a cruise to Hawaii. I know I feel like I need to redo that cruise because at 11, I definitely did not appreciate a cruise to Hawaii, but that's neither here nor there. Me and my family took a cruise to Hawaii. So it was my parents, my brother, and I. And we went on an excursion, and our excursion was a submarine ride. So we went on the submarine ride in the Pacific Ocean, which was amazing. We saw all different kind of fish. You know, the fish that you usually don't see in the pet store or your local Walmart. They were just exquisite types of fish that you don't normally see. We didn't see no sharks or whales, thank God, but we just saw all kinds of different fish. So we probably went maybe about 20 feet underwater. And so the commander of the ship was like, hey, you want to go down lower? And everybody was like, yes, yes, yes. And my mom was like, no, no, no. My mom was so scared. Of course, the submarine captain went with the majority. So we went all the way down to the bottom until we hit the sea floor. And when I say that was like an amazing experience, that was amazing to see God's creation underneath the sea. Like things that we don't usually see, things that a lot of people won't be able to see in their lifetime, but I was able to see it. And it is just something that's always ingrained in my memory. Like, hey, I went all the way down to the Pacific Ocean. Like, that's amazing. So that was another favorite memory that I have from childhood that I will never forget. Okay, let's keep going. Um, let's see. What movie do you wish you'd never seen so you can watch it for the first time during quarantine? What movie do you wish you'd never seen so you can watch it for the first time during quarantine? So what movie have I've seen? What movie do I wish I'd never seen so I could watch it for the first time during quarantine? I would say any Nicholas Sparks movie. So A Walk to Remember, The Notebook, etc. Because those movies be heck long, like very long, and that would occupy my time. So any Nicholas Sparks movie, because I love Nicholas Sparks and I read his books, and just to see the books come alive in movies is still amazing for me to see. But I wish I would have saved those during quarantine so I could have cried and ate Twizzlers like while watching these movies. So Nicholas Sparks movies for me. Okay, let's move on along. Um, what is one part of your personality you do not use often? Okay, what is one part of my personality that I do not use often? Hmm. And I would say that this is a trait that I'm trying to get control of. It's not a good trait, I'll say that. Part of my personality is being vindictive. It may come as a surprise to some, but I can be very vindictive. You know, I always want to equal the playing field. Like, you're not going to do me wrong. And then, you go away scot free and then, go on vacation and not think about what you've done. Like, no, I want you to pay, which you can see why I've tried to get deliverance from this trait. And it was so bad that it creeped into my marriage where I tried to equal the playing field. Even before my marriage, I tried to equal the playing field with my husband for some things that I felt like he did wrong to me. And I felt like he needed to pay. So I did something in return. I could have very well ruined my relationship, ruined my marriage. So I've been dealing with that, praying about it, trying to get control over my vindictiveness. And I believe it's gotten better. That's a question I need to ask my husband. Has my vindictiveness gotten better? I hope it has. But it's a part of my personality that I'm not proud of and that I'm trying to gain control of. So, yeah. Okay. Let's answer a couple of more questions and then that will be it. Okay. Let's see. Um, do you need advice on anything in your life right now? So, do I need advice on anything in my life right now? I need advice on how to be patient and trying to realize what God's purpose is for your life. Like, I've been in a state of confusion. And if you guys want to, I actually have a podcast episode on that. It's from season 1. So make sure you guys go back and listen to that. But I've been in a state of confusion where I don't know what I want to do with my life. I don't know what I should be doing with my life. I know that it needs to have something with purpose. I know that God has something planned for me, but I just can't quite place what it is. And that bothers me. That bothers me not knowing. For all my life, I've had everything kind of mapped out. What I want to do, where I want to go, what I want to be. And for the first time in my life, I'm in a state where I don't know. I don't know what's next. I don't know what I want to do next. And it's frustrating and it's disappointing for me. I've certainly criticized myself over it because I'm like, Christian, you should know something. But at the end of the day, it's okay if you don't know. It's okay that you don't know what's going to happen in the future, what your very next steps are going to be. It's okay. That should cause you to embrace the present, embrace the here and now, because you're thinking about next steps. Those next steps, you may not be able to take them. So just enjoying the present and trying not to um, think so much and be self-critical and trying to plan out my next steps when I really need to enjoy the now and the present. That's something that I need advice on. Maybe I need to talk to my therapist about that because, child, it's been crazy. Okay, let's do one more question. One more. What have you let go of this year that's made a positive change in your life? What have I let go of this year that's made a positive change in my life? I would say stress. Child stress is that's got to be the number one killer or close to it. It's probably cancer is the number one killer, but stress got to be a close second. Cuz I'm telling you, stress had me just on 10 all the time. Like you can listen to a previous podcast that I did on therapy, but it started probably a couple of years ago where I started to have like heart palpitations, started to my sleep was interrupted. Just I was always on 10. I was nervous. Um thoughts racing, mind racing all day, all night. It was just exhausting. And it got to the point where my body just was like, child, we are shutting down in 3, 2, 1. I literally just had like a mini breakdown. Um I remember going into court one day and I was just completely exhausted and overwhelmed. Like I didn't know how I was standing. Like it was just too much. And the judge looked at me and was like, hey, do you need additional time to do what you're coming to me, to complete? And I was like, yeah, Judge, I need additional time because I couldn't think of, how to tell him, like, yeah, I just need a whole lot of time. And he just gave it to me because he just saw the exhaustion on my face. But I was so exhausted. It was just too much. And I knew that if I would have continued to go down the path that I was going on, that I probably would not have made it. Like, I think I would have died. Like, it just was too much. So I decided to make some changes, make some lifestyle changes, make some mental changes, emotional, spiritual changes. And when I let go of that stress, my life has done like a 180. Like, I see a difference in my life. I'm more happier. I'm more carefree. I'm enjoying life more. It's just been a change. And life is just too short to just be stressed out. It's too short. It's too short to just be overthinking, to be exhausted, to be tired all the time. Like, you only get one life, and to live it, and to die and then look back over your life and look and see how you spent the majority of your life stressed and exhausted and just tired and not living your life. That is one regret that I cannot afford to have. I couldn't afford it. So stress, when I let that go, that improved my life. Just my life took a 180. And I was just so happy when I let that go, when I let certain things go. It just really helped me. And I think it was me exercising self care. I didn't know it at the time, and I kind of just realized it right now. But that was self care for me to let that go, because I definitely could have taken my own self out from being stressed out. Okay, so that is the end of We Are Not Strangers Part 2. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope you guys played along. What what were your answers to some of these questions? Let me know at mindofmillennials@gmail.com. You can also leave a comment on our Facebook page, The Millennial Mind, or our Instagram page, The_Millennial Mind. Make sure you follow us as well. Make sure you like and subscribe to this podcast. We're available on pretty much all major platforms. So make sure you like and subscribe and leave a comment. Leave a comment, because I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on these episodes. Also, I do have a blog, so make sure that you read what's on my blog. I will leave the web address in the show notes, but it is christianfuller.com/blog. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and let me know if you want me to do a part 3. And of course, I have a quote for you guys, and I just saw this today, and I was like, yes, I need to definitely put this on my podcast. But this is from Pastor Dr. Tony Evans. And he said, gain mastery of your thoughts, and you will master your emotions. Master your emotions, and you will overcome any addiction or stronghold that holds you hostage. Woo! So much meat in there. Well, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And until next time, I will talk to you guys soon.